Everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely day today. So for today's video, it's going to be another wickedly weird Wednesday. Honestly, it's some of my favourite videos to film because I love getting a little bit spooked out every now and again. So if you're new around here, my name's Allarnah, and on Wednesdays I sit down and I tell you guys ghost stories that I've either found on Reddit or that you guys have sent in yourself. You can either send them in on the YouTube comments, or you can send them in on Instagram with like voice notes or even videos if you have videos. Oh my god, stop. But yeah, feel free to send them me. Sometimes I get ready whilst I read them, but sometimes I just read them. But with all that being said, leave a like if you enjoy videos like this. Comment a ghost emoji if you do get freaked out at any point. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss when I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday. And with all that being said, let's get straight on into it. Something is off about my sister. For context, I know this whole thing is going to sound cliche, but this is weird as hell. This is all the truth. No stretching. My sister, 2, female, was literally being born the same exact day my best friend died. I also have a brother who died as a result of a stillbirth about 14 years ago. Oh my god, that's so sad. Well, we are at the cemetery where my best friend is buried. Somehow, she keeps looking at my brother's grave and saying, "My brother, baby," etc. Nobody has ever told her about this. Nobody's brought it up around her. She wouldn't know anything. My best friend died in a car accident. When we got to her grave, she sees stuff like, "Emmy friend." Emily is my deceased friend's name. Or stuff like, "In the car," or even stuff like, "It's me." She says, "In heaven." Oh my god. She looks creepily similar to my best friend. She doesn't know about my best friend because I don't like to talk about it, as it's a traumatic thing that I had to witness. My counsellor called my mum Thursday because I was like, "Bro, I can't do this anymore if I don't see or speak to someone." Obviously, my sister doesn't understand the concept of death, etc. She was telling my mum, "Emmy died. Emmy is sick. Emmy goes to heaven," etc. Another thing, my cousin was pregnant, and before anyone knew, she pointed at her stomach and said, "My baby." And after she miscarried, she pointed at her saying, "Where's the baby?" Heaven, etc. I don't know if she's just really smart or what, but it's extremely disturbing. That is actually quite freaky because she's 2. Like, not very many 2-year-olds would know about anything about this. Even if you fully explained it to them, it would not stay up in here. Don't get me wrong, children are very clever, but not with stuff like this. It is actually quite freaky. I'm so sorry. You seem to have gone through a lot in your life, and I really, really hope that you're doing okay. I really do. Voices in the hangar. I was in the airfield called Throckmorton in Worcestershire. I'm so sorry if I said that wrong. We use this airfield as a training site for driver training, and I keep a number of the training fleet there, primarily stored in Hangar 1. At about 8:30 this morning, I let myself in, and because the rain was hammering and the wind was blowing, I closed the large roller shutter door behind me. Today, Hangar 1 has 12 4x4 vehicles of various makes and models, all parked in a line. Their rears about a metre away from the hangar wall. 10 minutes later, I've got my head in the back of a Shogun, taking an inventory of its contents, when I distinctly heard a male voice with a northern accent call out, "Okay, give it a try now." As I'm the only person in the hangar, I was a little surprised to hear this. I look up and down the line of vehicles, but I see nobody. So I walk to the front and look up and down, but still cannot see a soul. From here, I can also see the rest of the hangar, and it's patently obvious I'm the only person here. I venture, hello? But only got silence back. Now, I grew up with ghostly goings on, voices and doors closing mysteriously when nobody's about, and it's never bothered me before. But I'm getting spooked. I open up the shutter door. It's a loud clanking monstrosity. You can drive a Cessna through. so nobody has to come or go without me noticing. Now I'm really getting spooked, so I quickly jump in my car and head off the main gate to see Darren, the site's facility manager. Darren immediately sees I'm not my usual bubbly self, and I tell him the story. Yeah, that makes sense, he says, before telling me that during World War II, Throckmorton was a base of Wellington bombers. On one occasion, a Wellington was having engine trouble, so they pushed it back into the hangar and started to have a look at it. One mechanic was on the wing tinkering under the cowling, and his mate was standing by the ground next to the prop. When the mechanic on the wing told his mate to give it a try, the other swung the prop. The engine started immediately and the lad overbalanced and fell towards the blades, which made short work of him. Oh my god, that is horrendous. Darren went on to say, stuff often goes missing in Hangar 1 and reappears a few days or weeks later, or gets moved about, but voices are very unusual. As I had to go back, I kept the roller door open and the engine on my car idling. Oh my god, could you actually... do you know the thought of just being on your own somewhere? You know you're on your own and then you 100% hear something. I know you're not supposed to react. I would stop dead in my tracks and I'd go running out. I wouldn't want to see. I don't want to know if anybody's there. I'm not saying hello. I'm literally running straight out of there. Like, I don't want to know. Am I being followed? Hello all, this is going to be a long one, so buckle up. I don't really know what I'm experiencing. I can't tell if I'm being followed or if I'm just open and allow spirits to present themselves wherever I live. I'm 33 and for some background, as a young kid I used to play with Ouija boards at my mum's house and with my friends at sleepovers. I've dabbled in tarot cards, pendulum and all that jazz as well, but this was all after I began experiencing things. I have also heard that trauma and negative experiences could enhance these experiences. I've dealt with abuse in every form my whole life, so not sure if it could have been triggered or anything. Some experiences that stand out include some experiences from my childhood home. My friend woke up in the middle of the night and saw a little girl standing next to my bed. Another experience, I felt someone watching me, but nobody was there. I turned around and I felt it coming closer until I felt a full hand on my back. Another experience, I looked into the mirror to see a man, full figure human, features and all behind me. Oh my good grief. Apparently, I was also petrified of my closet, and my mum said one night she went to close my closet, my doll, a Millennium Barbie, flew to the floor. Another time, I was home alone, so I locked myself in my room, only to hear noises as if people were home, and they definitely were not. Oh my god. I've suffered with sleep paralysis twice. Both were extremely scary. One, I was frozen and kept hearing, "You're going to die tonight," in my ear. The next time, I was with my best friend running across my floor with her body contorted like in the movies. Oh my gosh. Also, on the 1 year anniversary of my best friend's passing, I woke up to a figure sitting at the edge of my bed with their head in their hands. I looked away and I looked back and they were still there. Rubbed my eyes, still there. I didn't go visit her that day and I'm convinced she was letting me know that she was upset. I also heard someone running down the stairs, open the door immediately and nobody was there. I've also heard someone running their hands along ridges on my door. Nobody was there. I told my mom and she confirmed her brother used to do that to scare her. Oh my god. In my second apartment, I had woken up to a figure standing over my ex-boyfriend. I quickly turned over and put the blanket over my head. When I looked up, it was now standing over me. Oh my god, stop. Another occasion, I locked myself in my room to sleep and I heard noises in the kitchen as if someone was going through my cabinets and glassware, but when I got up to check, no one was there. Also, in my third apartment, my son would see things that I could not see, and did you know what? I know kids are supposed to see things that you can't see. Oh, that's so scary. In my 4th apartment, I found a tiny cross on the floor, and I asked the people who lived there before if it belonged to them, but it didn't belong to any of them, so how was it there? My son and I walked through the door and a glass bowl, a heavy glass bowl, fell and shattered. Nobody was near it. Another occasion, a balloon moved across the ceiling for a long period of time with no air/AC on. No windows were open. During this time, I felt dread and heaviness. The second it stopped, I ran upstairs. My son asked, "Who is that man behind you?" "Oh, please don't." Another occasion, I heard footsteps walking towards my living room. My friend was over and also heard it, and nobody was there. On another occasion, as I was moving out, a friend came to help, and they are 100% convinced that somebody had touched them. In my 5th apartment and also my current apartment, my son jumped and said, "Oh, someone was just walking towards me." Oh my God. On another occasion, I was trying to sleep with my back towards the door and saw my son come out of his room and heard him say, "Mom." I turned around and nobody was there. Went into his room and he was asleep. On another occasion, my boyfriend stayed in the living room to watch the fight, and I went to doom scroll in my bed. Then I heard him walk towards my room and drop something. I got up and he was on the couch. I was like, "What was that?" And he said it came from my room. Okay. On another occasion, I woke up to my son saying, "Mom," a few times, and he was in my bed with me. So I rolled over and he was snoring. Maybe he was just dreaming. Maybe. My last experience, I was in the kitchen making my child lunch for school and heard him get up and go to the living room. I said, "Are you awake?" No answer. Went into my room and he was still asleep. Oh my God. They've literally just ended it with, "Any input is welcome." How have you had so much experience with this stuff? Oh my God. That is so scary. Like, I couldn't have all of this going on. Like, I genuinely, I would lose it. Like, oh, it's the touching and like the hearing things. Also, oh, it's the thought of like something like mimicking like your child and like standing in the, no, I can't. It actually just freaks me out. Okay, I'm gonna end it with this one, and it literally is just titled Mimic. One morning on my day off, I walked into the kitchen to make breakfast. I heard my daughter laugh upstairs. I looked at the time and it was about 9:30. I thought maybe she woke up late and my wife left her so I could take her to school. I checked the Life 360 app to see if my wife was at work so I could call her. I noticed that all 3 of my girls were at school. I froze and I felt that chill go up my spine. I usually only hear noises but never voices. I was too scared to go up there, so I turned on the TV and I made breakfast. I just pretended like nothing happened, like always. If you're interested in some more stories, let me know and I will definitely post them. Oh my God, I've heard about this. Like, and I see it on TikTok all the time where people like the door shut and like the mum will be knocking on the door and it'll be saying the kid's name because usually they would have to open the door to their mum, but they know for a fact that their mum is not in. I don't like it. It gives me chills. Stuff like that really, really freaks me out. I really don't like it. Yeah, if you have any ghost stories, please do send them in to me because I absolutely love hearing them. The spookier, the better. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did get spooked out or creeped out like I did, leave a ghost emoji in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoy videos like this. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss when I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday. And with all that being said, I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.